let's talk about how you can take your setup from this to this for less than 150 bucks.
Through the fire, I could conquer the night.
So let's begin the video, and I'm only gonna ask this once. Will you please run that gosh darn intro? So obviously when you're talking about a YouTube type setup or just lighting in general, there are a lot of important things to think about. And I would say the most important thing is certainly not the camera. You can shoot this with either a DSLR like what I'm using with the GH5, or you can use an iPhone or any other device. And there are a couple of key things to think about. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm a professional lightographer, if that's a thing, professional light person, but I think that the way I have it set up looks pretty good and I'm pretty happy with it. So if you like this, stay tuned and I'll explain how the whole thing works. Basically, what you'll see a lot with bigger YouTubers is they all use expensive equipment, whether it's an Aperture 120D, that's a $1,000 plus light, or some other type of lighting setup that costs more than some people's car and house and bills for the entire month. But I wanted to take it, the approach that I like taking it, and try to find stuff that's good enough and sort of figure out the way to work with it. Now, this setup has been evolving over the years, certainly, but I've got it narrowed down to some things that I like, and I like the way that it looks. So to start, you need a key light. For that, let me just open this up a little bit. So here's a behind the scenes and how this looks when I have this open up. I believe this is set to 12mm. The lens this is effectively like a 24mm on a full frame camera because this is Micro Four Thirds lens. Another video for another day. But this is how my setup looks. So for you guys, you see this little frame right there, and that's all you have to see. But if you look up here, this is the key light. This is probably the most important light. You could go without the other two lights that I have in this setup if you just have a key light. Now, this light specifically was purchased for 25 bucks. I actually bought two of them. I used one over there for the overhead rig that I built. But for this, it is $25, and it literally lights me, and I think super well. But if you notice closely, there is actually, whoop, here it comes. There is a dress shirt. This is the sleeve of a dress shirt. So diffusing light is really important when you are working with light. Obviously, there are a lot of important things to remember, but this light, for my taste, was a little bit too bright. It was a little bit too much. It was a little off-putting, in my opinion, how bright this light was without this shirt on. So I literally found a white dress shirt that I don't wear, and I just taped it on it, and it looks really good. I mean, obviously, you can see, zoom back in, it looks solid. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's not an Aperture 120D, but for a $25 light, it's pretty darn good, and I've been really happy with it. Next, you'll see over here, I believe this is called a fill light. This just lights up this part of my face, whereas this light right here lights up sort of this part of my face. This is the key light. This is the most important light. This lights you up. I know some guys like Peter McKinnon, when they do like sort of the sit down talk videos, they only use a single key light to light the whole setup. This fill light over here, I like it. I don't love it. I don't think it's necessary. I think if I didn't have it, I would look fine. But I think that I like the way it looks, so I keep it in there, and I think it's technically what you're supposed to do. But this light, again, if you see here, this is a pillowcase. So to diffuse the light, because these LED light panels are super bright, you can see, I throw a pillowcase over it and it really softens the light. This is a white pillowcase. Now these LED lights are a little bit more expensive, but I don't think they're quite as necessary. But if you wanted to, I believe that for the pair of these, it's $100, and everything will be linked down below. And obviously they are affiliate links. So if you buy them, you'd help keep this channel sponsorship free. filmed that, knowing what I'm going to edit over it, but when I'm filming it, it looks really weird. All right, and then the next light that I have actually just started using recently is another light back here. That's another one of these LED panels that just sits back here. You can see it sort of lights up this area. You can see the light right there. I think that looks nice. It really illuminates behind me. And that is another one of those $50 LED light panels that just sort of sits back there. I plug it in when I need to start filming. There's no diffusion on that. And it just sort of fills in the light behind me. And I think it looks really nice. So this is the whole behind the scenes thing. This is my microphone right here. This microphone I bought for like 80 bucks. I try to spend the least amount of money possible to get what I think is a solid quality. Obviously, you could spend more money on a better key light and better LED lights and all this stuff, and you would get a better looking product. But at the end of the day, if you can make it work with what you have, that's going to be far more important. And here is obviously the product as it is lit currently. You can see the softness of the light from here. A tip is the closer this light is to, the less harsh it looks. I believe I have that right. It seems backwards, but the closer this light is to you, the better it actually looks in your face, at least in my opinion. Well, the way I have it lit, I like the way it sits right there. It looks fine. Obviously, you can see it's sort of filled in a little bit. You can sort of see the shadow right there from this light right here, obviously, with the little diffusion panel, we'll call it. And then the light behind me is lighting up the background. Now, it is sort of getting a little bit too BTS, behind the scenes. I believe that's what that is. But it is an important thing to note when you are making a video or you're filming a video. The most important thing is the lighting. I've learned that over the last 2 years of making videos. When I look back at my old videos, it wasn't because I was shooting on an iPhone or because I was shooting on a cheaper DSLR or whatever it was. It was because the lighting looked like crap. When you have bad lighting, your videos look like crap. For example, this video right here is one of my first videos, and it's lit poorly and terribly. I mean, I did the best I could, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So for this whole setup for the lights, it costs under 150 bucks. It's a great deal. I think that if you're investing into YouTube and you're into sort of talking head stuff like that, to at least make it look good. I mean, it's not necessarily pertinent to the content that it looks good, but I think that it's better if it looks good. But the most important thing, I think, is audio, because people can overlook something that looks terrible, but the audio, if the audio is terrible, people complain. I'm still working on my audio. I'm still learning. I learn something new pretty much every day about like lighting and audio and video. So always be learning, always be trying to find something new. But I think that for you, you could see this setup right now with an iPhone. And this is what it can look like with an iPhone. Obviously, at the end of the day, content is way more important than anything, and story and all that, yada, 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 all of that garbage. But making it look nice, I think, helps. In my opinion, I'd rather watch it that looks nice than something that doesn't look nice. But it's more important just to have good audio and make sure that the story and what you're making is good, it's not clickbaity, and it adds value to somebody's life. I guess what I'll say at the end of the day, that if you are to invest money into your sort of YouTube setup or whatever you're making, if you're filming, photography, lighting is far and away the most important thing. Watch anybody's YouTube video ever or look at any photo. The reason it looks so good is because the lighting is really good. It's hard to make something look good with bad lighting. And I think that for 150 bucks, this looks pretty darn good. Obviously, it'd probably look better with more money, but don't be afraid to use what's around your house and find stuff. Use these tips sort of to show you that you can get a decent looking video with a dress shirt as the diffuser and a pillowcase as the other diffuser. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. This has been Scott with Techno Eclipse. I feel like sometimes I get almost too sarcastic. Is that too sarcastic? I guess I'm sarcastic. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again for watching. Peace out.